y'all? Welcome to another episode. Child, let me get myself together. I was a whole list of things I was supposed to do before I came on. The fur, move it down. We needed to be silky smooth. Just let yourself glow. Baby, it's all so silky smooth. Just let it shine through. Just let it shine. Okay. There we go. Okay. That's good enough. What's going on, y'all? Jimmy 2 times here, and welcome to yet another episode of the Coming Out Chronicles Atlanta edition. We are on episode number 7. So let me just paint this picture, right? So just to give you the plot and where it's going, I got an eviction on my credit. And my credit got fucked up. And that was the first time that I realized that you don't have to pay bills. Wait. No. Oh my goodness. Where is the bill? Hold on. Not you don't have to pay bills. What? What are you telling these people? Wait. What do you mean, Timothy, that you don't have to pay bills? What do you mean, sir? What the fuck? Of course you have to pay. I've been meaning to adjust these headphones. Every time I edit the videos, I be like, why are these things cricket? Like, bitch, fix the headphones. But you must pay bills. But if you can't pay bills, if you can't pay a bill, it's not the end of the world. But don't get stuck in that trap of not paying bills or not paying bills on time. Because, yeah, y'all like, what the hell? I'm going to break all of this down to you as we go through the story. So, wherever this is at, watch the whole thing. You're not going to know because I'm saying it right now. You may just see a little clip or something like that. But I want you to get the whole context of the whole picture of why I said that and how I feel about it. All right. So let's paint this picture. The story is about my roommate that moved out on me, again, who caused me to get an eviction. So we're going to paint the scene. If y'all remember a couple episodes back, episode number 5, part 1, I want to say, or 2, watch both of them. It's the title of the prayer list and how I feel about the church religion. Wow, I'm going to keep going back to that episode a lot because I was very vulnerable in that episode and I said a lot of things that I felt and I saw. I was living with my auntie at the time, and again, I had to go to church twice a week. I had to go to Bible study on Wednesdays, and we went to service on Sunday. And I got a nose hair. I told y'all, like, my mustache and my hair, my nose, they touch, and they do this little weird tickle thing. Not Coca-Cola, okay? And I was starting to be out in the streets. I was starting to hang out. I was starting to feel grown. I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I need to, maybe I should think about moving out. And one day in Bible study, there was a guy that came in. He had on some leather shorts and a leather vest with no undershirt, and the vest was open. And he got in front of the class that day and told everybody that he had AIDS and he almost died. And he was oatmeal. He had to take oatmeal baths. And he got up in front of everybody and opened up his shirt and showed everybody how skinny he got. And everybody in the class gagged, and so did the teacher. And it made me feel extremely uncomfortable. Because I was just new to this scene. I was just going out, and I had a friend that had told me, I asked him one time, we were in the club, and I was just like, how do you know if like somebody is positive, has HIV or AIDS? You got to do your own research on what. And he was just like, just treat it as if everybody knows. And the stigma of having HIV/AIDS is something that heterosexual people think about people part of the umbrella, the LGBTQIA plus community. They think that they correlate that with us. And a lot of people think that we all get it. And at the time, again, I was young, I was very naive, and that really scared the fuck out of me. But yeah, I was like, I have to move out because I'm feeling grown. This Bible study and going to church thing is wearing me out. Again, I feel completely uncomfortable going to church in general. And then this, I just felt like the spotlight was on me because I was gay. And I don't know if he was gay or not. Looking at him and him talking, I didn't think that he was. He didn't say he was. I didn't know. I didn't ask. I just know how it made me feel. And me being already uncomfortable being a homosexual, going to church and not comfortable, completely comfortable with himself and comfortable in the church and dealing with the gay slurs in the church and all this, even though there wasn't a lot in that particular church, but it's just as a whole. I'm like, it's time for me to move out. So I was hanging out with my friend Peaches one day. And this time we again, episode before this, episode number 6, I talk about how we used to go out and we would go to the adult bookstores and we would be in the booths with other men and we would just all the type of things that we used to do just being grown, just going out and experiencing life and just trying shit that we shouldn't try. Some of it may have been dangerous. I mean, I'm still here. Okay? So I'm still here. And he was at work. He used to work at the security place, whatever. He used to work like the night shift, whatever. And he was like at the front desk. And I would go up to his job sometime and hang out with him. And one day I went up there on his lunch break. And he was just like, bitch, let's go to the club. Child, we got in my car and we drove to the club. We drove to Bulldogs to be exact. So he was on the clock, got in the car with his dress slacks, button down and tie, and we went to Bulldogs. If y'all are in Atlanta or know anything about Bulldogs, back in the day, Bulldogs was the spot to go to, especially on the Thursday. The Thursday was the night to go. For $10, you can have a good time, and for $20, you can have a really good time. Because not me talking about 10 and 20. That's how much that escort got out of me on the last episode I talked about. It was 10 and he got the 20. But anyway, $10 would get you, it was $3 to get in, and the cocktails was $3. So you can get 3 plus 2 drinks. That leave you $9. You can leave $1 tip if you wanted to. You chose to. The drinks were super strong. I used to drink a blue motherfucker. So it's basically Long Island. Instead of putting the Coke in there, you put Coca-Cola. Instead of putting the Coca-Cola in there, you would put blue Curacao and like 7-Up or Sprite. And it's the same. It was completely strong and it fucked you up. So that's what I used to drink. And when we went into the club, we were on the dance floor. And we were just dancing and stuff like that. Again, I really wasn't the best dancer, but I used to go out on the dance floor to mingle because I still wanted to dance. I didn't know how to dance, but I would still go out on the dance floor. And I could always just do a little, that's still my move now. I may not be able to hit a beat right, honey, but I can drop it down low and bring it up real slow, okay? So I would go out on the dance floor, and I'm tall as fuck, taller than everybody. And there was this guy on the dance floor. This fucking queen. This queen on the dance floor, this big ass bald head, and he had braces. But he was missing the wire that connects. He just had the brackets on the teeth. And on 1 or 2 of the teeth, the bracket was missing. So there was no wire, no bracket. And for some strange reason, he loved to smile. I don't know why in my head he reminds me of Wayman off of Low Down Dirty Shane, but no. This one was given Messy Stunt Queen. This is given Messy Stunt Queen from Miami. Child, so you already know what it was given. And bitch, in Atlanta was one of and still is home of the frauds, the stunt queens, and all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to have this friend, bitch. He wasn't even my friend. Like, we used to, later, I'm not going to talk about him, but we're going to talk about it now. He was from a different country, and all he did, like, his apartment and everything was based off of him stunting, writing fake checks, flipping the last couple of digits of his social security card to get apartments. Like, he went to the Mercedes-Benz dealership and test drove, because that was back then when you could just show like your ID or whatever, or they would let you test drive the cars. They still do to a certain extent, whatever. There's a little bit more you may have to do, whatever, but depending on what lot you go to. But he took the car and then he took it to some little chop shop, and they went into the car and they found the GPS or the locator, and they took it out. And that's what he just drove the fucking the car around, and they're like if it was his car. And he would go, and every once in a while he would steal a license plate off of somebody's car. He did that for a very long time until he got arrested. But anyway, like he would do stuff like that. We would go out with him. He would always buy drinks. One day he had a friend, one of my friends, go into the convenience store to cash a check. I already knew what he was doing. I already knew that he was involved in a lot of fraudulent activity. And I was like, when my friend went and did it, because he went in the store, and I didn't know how to say it in front of him. But when he got back to the car and we dropped, the stunt queen off, I was just like, hey, don't do that. Like, I know you feel like you helping him or whatever, and he's going to buy you drinks and stuff like that later on, but you don't want to get your name tied up in that, because they have cameras in the store. You're in there giving your ID to do these Western Union transfers or whatever it is that that's going on that he's doing in there, and you're going to be tied to this. And I don't want you to get messed up. Now, should I have probably said something before he went in? I probably should have, but at the time, me and the guy wasn't friends like that. But I feel like I still did my part, and I let him know what the tea was. So whatever y'all want to say, however y'all want to feel, whatever. But anyway, that's just the background on the Stunt Queens. I had to just go off and get that little story, whatever. But since we already off, child, let me go ahead and let's take a break early, child, because I got this birthday cake thing from the gas station. It's so good. It's a vanilla birthday cake. Oh my goodness. Now I know everything that this thing is made out of is bad for you. It's probably worse than eating a McDonald's sandwich. Hold on, good on McDonald's sponsorship. But I wouldn't take it. If McDonald's hit me up and was like, hey, we want to use you for our sponsorship, and it's $10 million. Damn, bitch. But anyway, let's get back to the we went way off. So we back in the club. And this braceless, brace face queen is on the dance floor with these tight pants on, this little bitty shirt and this big old Martian head. And then he got these fucking acrylic fingernails that's needed a fill-in for fucking 5 months. The gap is so fucking huge. It's like you could literally place a whole nother set of not lead press ons, honey, right in between to fill the crack in. Like you could literally take some spackling that you would use to cover up a wall, and you can smack that shit on his fingers and smear it, and it will fill in the crack, because that's how much of a gap and how deep that crevice was. He had these big ass man hands, like his thumbs was literally fucking 3 inches wide. That's a big ass piece of acrylic strip. It was like a spatula. Like I could use that shit to fucking flip and saute eggs and flip bacon and hamburgers and shit like that. The nails was crazy. And then he used to take a sock and he would fold it in half. And he would fill it, because us men, we got dents. Most of us got like a little dent in our booty on the side because we ain't got hips. So he would take that shit, iron it, he would smack them shits on the side and put his skin tight jeans up over to make it look like he had hips. With his little bitty white shirt, it would be cropped or it would be tucked in. And he had this walk. I don't know if y'all know, and there's no shade, but a lot of the girls, the dolls, the trans girls on the stroll, the young ones before they start taking their moans and stuff like that, bitch, they would be on the block, and the way they will walk with their chest out and their back arch. So it would be like this. So like they ain't have no butt, but they would walk as if they had a butt, and the chest would stick out and the head would be back. That's how he used to walk. And I'm describing him, and I'm doing this, and my ass became his fucking roommate. But that's because at the time all this to how I'm describing him, I didn't see this at first. I saw this as a way out. And also, just to paint the picture of me, when it comes to a lot of men would assume, based off of my looks and my height, I would be considered a top, or I would be. Now I'm not even gonna say trade, because trade would be is basically like a straight presenting man, or however you want to identify trade and DL. I kind of put them in the same category because DL is trade and trade is DL in my book. But a lot of guys would think that I'm a top, but bitch, I'll be the first to throw my legs up to the moon. So part of it was him trying to holler at me and get a piece. And in the meantime, I don't even know how we started talking. He was just like, hey, I'm from Miami. I'm trying to move here, whatever. And I was like, oh, wow, really? Like, I want to move out. Like, I stay with my auntie and I want to move out. And he said, oh, we should be roommates. And just like that, that's how all that happened. We left the club. We exchanged numbers. The following day or two, I end up meeting him. His friend, a mutual friend, because the guy's my friend now too. He stayed around the corner from Bulldogs, and he called my roommate at the time, called me over. I'm trying to decide if I want to disclose this roommate's name, or should I not? And it's just like, why should I not, for the safety, not even for the safety of him, because you fucked me up. You did me fucking dirty. And his name was Myron. Myron's motherfucking ass did me fucking dirty. He did me real fucking dirty. And I was so naive. And I just couldn't believe that it was happening to me, because we're both gay. I just didn't think that gay people would do other gay people like that, especially other black gay people. I'm from Ohio. A lot of the gay men in Ohio were white. I didn't run into or see a lot of black gay men until I went to Atlanta, and I would go to a club and every single man in there was black. And the club would be packed wall to wall with all different types and flavors of black men. All different types of people. Bisexual, trans, like it was so many. Like, I would go to the drag show and I wouldn't even know that some of the performers were born male, because that's how good they did. They would go, I used to go to the Monday night drag show and they would perform. If they did Rihanna or Whitney, they lip sunk down to the fucking bone, to the ground. They dress like them. They make up their hair. Everything emulated that exact person. And I used to love it. Like, no shade. Like, the Monday night drag show, the Stars of the Century, was the fucking place to fucking be in Atlanta. That was like the premier fucking drag show. And I would say that it still is, even though I haven't been in so long. And every time I go to Atlanta, I want to go because it's on Monday nights and I always end up flying back out or got to go to work the next day or something like that. So I'm never able to go to the Monday night drag show. But anyway, we're going to go back. So I went to the house where Myron was at. And I never forget, I parked downstairs and he came down the back stairs. It was like a set of like, they look like those, like the escape staircase that they would be on the back of the building that was made out of the wire, but instead of it spiraling, it just kind of came out and went straight down. And he came out with a big oversized t-shirt on. He probably had some panties on underneath it, and the long fingernails and that big old head bobbing with them braces. Hey. And it was like, at first he was still trying to figure me out, like he was still trying to get a piece. But after, it didn't take long for him to find out that me and him both like the same thing. We both want dick. And big ones, because he used to like them big, okay? How could you not be looking and dressed and doing all that and not like them big? He don't want them things small. And he started calling me. He was like, oh, I'm going to be your gay mother. So we end up getting all this stuff set up. So he was just like, hey, I'm going to go back to Miami. I already know the apartments. Like, he told me the apartments and everything that we were going to move into. And all I needed to do was come up with my half of the deposit. So I went to the apartment place to go ahead and do the paperwork. Like, I went and did it like a couple of days after that. Now, mind you, Myron I met my first boyfriend in Atlanta through him, through one of our mutual friends. Damn, I said this story wasn't gonna be sad, child. But shout out, I gotta do it because we in this space. I have to say, shout out to Rashawn. I met Rashawn through Myron. And then Rashawn's friend was my boyfriend at the time, the one I told you I broke up with right before Valentine's Day. But Rashawn was murdered. And mm, Rashawn used to get up in it, so to say. Like, he would dress like a woman, do his makeup, and he would emulate a woman. And a lot of times he wouldn't tell the guys that he was born male. So I never forget one time he told me, and this may be TMI, but I feel like this is a educational lesson, teaching, whatever you want to call it. And it's part of my story. And in no way, shape, or form am I trying to, belittle anyone. But Rashawn was my friend. And I genuinely miss him. I really do. And one day he met these guys, and it was these army guys, and he said he went into the room with the guy. He got on top of the guy. And he was, riding the guy, and I guess he got hard, and the guy felt the meat, and the next day he pulled them off of him. They didn't end up doing anything, and he told him, like, why didn't you tell me that you were born male, that you were a man? Because back then it wasn't. They used to say the TRANNY word, which is not something that we generally say now, because it's kind of misconstrued. It's not. It's like calling somebody the FAG word. So it's like we don't use that word. We just say transgender, or we'll say one of the dolls, DOLLS. I know my comes off sound a little crazy. Dolls. So I told him, I was like, yo, you need to stop like dressing up like that. You gotta stop. Like, you can't be dressing up like you can't like be playing with these guys like that. Like, you gotta tell them, because that's dangerous. Like, I don't want nothing to happen to you. And he would do this all the time. And I got a phone call one day, and he met this guy, and they got in the car, and from the story, it was the guy didn't know, and the guy shot him. And he shot him, and the guy jumped out of the car, and my friend was driving the car, and he crashed into the back of a car, and he died. I never forget that article that I saw in the newspaper. It said a man in a dress. I can't remember. Okay, I can't remember if it said a man in a dress or a drag queen. But it wasn't very tasteful. The statement wasn't presented to the world in the best of lights. And I really hate that happened. That really tore me apart. I know I said this wasn't gonna be one of them episodes, but child, I do have my cliff notes for my episodes, but it's so much more than what I've written down, because it's a lot of things are coming back to my memory, or it's just laid on me to express it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to express it. Another little side story about him. Your friends are your friends, and you should never. And I've run into this lately with people being judgmental of the company that you keep. And at the end of the day, if someone is your friend, they're your friend. You shouldn't love them for who they are and what they are and how they dress. That's who they are. Like, just because you can't say, oh, I like you, or you cool, I want to hang out with you, but I don't like the way you dress, or I don't like the way you look, or you need to change this or stop doing that. No, you can't do that, because now you're changing them to fit your beauty standards or what you like. And that's not fair. So one day we was gonna go to a house party and I picked Rashawn up from the train station and he got in my car and he had this outfit on. It was like all black, but it was like girly. And I was just like, is that what you go wear? He was like, yeah, let's go. Like he was in a car, like he was oblivious to like my facial expressions and how I was feeling. He was like, yeah, let's go to the party that And I was just like, child, you know what? Honestly, I really don't feel like going. He was like, for real? I was like, no, I think I'm just gonna go home. He was like, for real? I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'll drive you to the train station. I drove him to the train station and I went to the party. I was uncomfortable with the way he dressed. Now, that was an old Tim. This Tim right now is not like that at all. Like, I would never do that to any of my friends. Never. But I was also uncomfortable with myself. And I always tried after that moment I really began to lean into our friendship. I really began to lean into our friendship. And he saved me one time. Me and my ex got into a little altercation. Wow, he was there with my other ex too, the abusive one. We got into a little altercation, and my ex's sister tried to shoot me. And he stopped her from coming down to my apartment and shooting me. That story ain't really nothing to talk about. It was my ex was cutting up in the apartment. I told him to chill. He was doing too much. So I grabbed him and I tossed him out. I tossed him over the dishwasher and tossed him out my fucking apartment. And he told his sister, and his sister got her gun and tried to come down to, because we stayed in the same apartment complex, and she was going to shoot me. But anyway, rest in peace to Rashawn. You are missed. I wish that you were still here. I think about you often and how our friendship would be at this point of our lives. So the thing about this apartment thing, right? So again, he had figured out the apartment. Apparently he had signed the information, and I think that he really gave them a fake information. Like, I really think he gave them, oh my goodness, I can't breathe, child. Hold on. I really think he gave them somebody else's information, or he had a hookup or something like that, because at the end of the whole situation, damn, I'm not going to tell y'all. Let's go with the story, then you got to watch the whole story to find out what happened in court. They gagged me because I had to go to court. So I had to get the money for the money order for the apartment to put my part of the deposit down. Now, mind you, I had just started working. I had credit cards. I had the Macy's credit card, which you don't know anything about the Macy's credit card. Back in the day, I don't know if it still is, but it was a two-part card. You got a store credit that you could use in the store, and it was also a Visa card. So it had two separate lines of credit. And baby, I was going out buying outfits for the club, but at the time, I really wasn't using my credit card that much because I didn't need to. I was living with my auntie. I wasn't paying rent. Like, my rent was to clean the house, like I said in the early episodes, clean the house, do the yard work, and shampoo the carpet sometime, whatever. That was my chores. That was my rent. So I found out that you could get cash back off your credit card. So I went to the ATM machine in the hood off East Point, Washington Road. I went to a corner store, whatever, not even a bank. And I used my credit card, put the PIN number, and I got the cash back. I went and got the money order, signed the lease and everything. Now, mind you, I hadn't even told my auntie. So before I could even get home, the lady at the leasing office had called the house and talked to my auntie. And when I came in, my auntie, and I definitely can understand how she felt, but at the time, I was ready to go. Like, I was ready to leave my auntie's house. Like, I felt like I was grown, and I was ready to go. And there were certain things that she did that I would let slide, because even the thing when the church girl came to the house, I'm just like, why is she here then? Like, you not here, and then she talking to me about the gay shit, or she brings it up, you know. And there was one incident with my auntie that I think I compartmentalized it. I be trying to say these words. I don't know why they can't come out. And I put it into the back of my head, and I kind of forgot about it because, again, like, I was out in the streets. I was doing shit. Like, I was just out doing shit. So, oh my goodness. I remember one day we was gonna have family come in town, whatever. We was gonna have family come into town, and my auntie was trying to figure out the sleeping arrangements for everybody because my auntie got a big ass house. So everybody was gonna come and stay with her. So I remember she told me one day, she said, okay, I'm working out on these sleeping arrangements, but I'm trying to figure out where to put you because I can't put you with the girls and I can't put you with the boys. I can't put you with the girls and I can't put you with the boys. And at the time, again, I just kind of, because I was out in the streets. But the more I think about it now, and I look back, I'm like, damn, that was really fucked up that she said that to me. And I didn't know how to take it because, again, I'm still young. This is an elder. This is somebody who I looked up to, who I admired. And at that age, I wasn't in the mind frame or the space to talk back to adults. The only adults I talked back to was, you know, going through the gay shit with my parents when they kicked me out. And me and my mom used to get into the shouting matches on the phone. And then I had told them that I wasn't going to, you know, talk to them anymore, whatever. That was the only time that I had ever disrespected my parents to talk back to them. So I wasn't in the space or just to be talking back to an adult. So I just kind of let it slide because I didn't even know what I should say about this because, again, like, I have nowhere else to go anyway. I don't have nowhere else to go. So all that and then just the church and just all of the stuff of me thinking that I'm grown, I needed to get my place. So she told me she was very upset with me that I didn't run that across her first and let her know that I was moving out. And like, she's kind of like blindsided by the fact that, and I was like, you know, I'm sorry. I was going to tell you when I came home, but I don't know, when it came to certain things, it was kind of hard to talk to my auntie about it. And it wasn't because, I think it's because, not that she's inquisitive. I think it's just her manner about the way she carries herself. It's almost like I felt ashamed or uncomfortable to tell her that I was moving out, even though she was part of the reason in a way that I wanted to move out because I did want my freedom. And again, the kids were getting on my nerves and I wanted to have my own place. And I felt like I was grown. If I'm out here having sex and meeting all these guys with money and shit like that, I got credit cards now, I got friends. Why do I need to stay with my auntie? I should be able to have my own place. I got my own car. Like, why not? So I moved out. And me and Myra moved together. Now, we had a 2-bedroom townhouse. I think the name of the apartments, I can't remember what they were, but they were in East Point, Georgia, right down from the airport off of Washington Road. And the apartment complex was big. We were kind of like towards the middle, so you would have to kind of like walk down. But at the time I was driving, but I ended up losing my car. Car messed up. So the move-in day came and he wasn't there. He was like, hey, I won't be here for like another like 2 weeks. So I was like, okay, because we got the apartment, everything was done. But I don't know, something to me, like, I kind of was just like, you know, I got uncomfortable. My auntie was like, okay, where's he at? Like, oh, he coming, he not here, he coming, such and such. And it's just kind of like a side eye, whatever. But I forgot what I told her. I may have lied or whatever, because I was just like, I don't need you worried about this. Like, I got this, whatever. I move in. The first 2 weeks was cool. Then he came. He pulled up in this Chevy Astro minivan that was blue, and he had the Fast and the Furious taillights on the back, and he had the big dual exhaust muffler on there. He pulled up, we moved in, everything was great, like we had It was amazing at first. Like we was all hanging out. We was, going to the club. Like, it was cool. It was a good time. Now, at the time, I was working at Toys R Us and AT&T, so I was just like, okay. And then I started working for Regis, the inventory service, which was, you go over the little scan thing and you be counting stuff on the shelves and shit like that. And they don't pay shit, whatever. And then some of the people that worked there, they think they better because they had the gray shirt on. The gray shirt was the managers. They got paid $1 or $2 more. Bitch, that ain't shit. Fucking $1, $2 more ain't shit, child. $1 more. Bitch, you work a 40-hour week, bitch, that's only extra $40. Every paycheck you getting, would you get an extra $80? Child. But anyway, so that's where Myron had worked at, whatever. And he helped me get the job there, whatever. So I was working there too. So it was like all a family. Then Rashawn at the time, he worked there too. Me and Rashawn used to work together. We would be on lunch break. We would be cutting up. We would talk about talking to people at the job. Like we used to go to the club after. We would go to the club before we came to work. We'd be in there tired. We used to have a good fucking time. Now, my roommate at the time, he was extremely sexually active. And he used to be on the chat line. That's what we used to call it. It was on the phone. And this was back before, like, people really used computers and the phones could do all the things they do. So, like, you would just dial in and it would be like a whole bunch of voice. Like, hey, yo, my name is D. I'm 5'6". I got 10 inches of meat. I'm medium build, slim waist. I like your doggy style. I live in East Point. I don't host. We can do it out in the neighborhood, whatever. That's how like the messages and stuff would be. And a lot of the dudes on there, for some odd reason, their name was always fucking black. So my roommate would be on there and he would meet all of these dudes and they would come to the house. So the townhouse was a revolving door. Again, it was a townhouse. The bedrooms were upstairs. It was roommate style. And there was a bathroom in the middle. The staircase was on my side. So this was the staircase. This was my room. This was the bathroom. This was my roommate's room. Downstairs, there was a half a bathroom. We had a washer and dryer hookup. We had a little mini patio in the front, and we had a patio in the back. But bitch, we ain't never put no furniture and stuff back there. So we used to keep the mop and the broom and shit like that back there. One day I tried the chat line thing, and it was just like it didn't work for me because I'm just like I don't know who these guys are and what they look like, and I'm just like I can't get I was the point like bitch I go to the club to find a man like bitch. No shade, I would go to the club and my goal every night I would leave the club, I would go home with a man. I would always find me somebody to go home with, whether I met them in the club or at the let out, because at the club, everybody be in the parking lot. That's where you can do your number exchanges or go home with whoever you want to go home, baby. I was already dushed and ready to go. Okay, the Tootsie Cat was already cleaned out. All the rust was knocked out of the pile, out of the, all of the dust was knocked out of the pipes, honey, and I was ready to get plowed. Oh my goodness. TMI, honey. Well, bitch, all the shit you said on these episodes, baby, you might as well just go ahead and just keep rolling with it. So I wouldn't do that. Now, he used to cook too. So he used to make pork chops. That was the only time I ever ate pork chops because I'm not a pork chop person. Like, I don't eat pork chops. But he used to make these pork chops and I would fuck them up. So this is where the FAG word comes into play. So again, my roommate was very flamboyant. The nails, just the way he dressed, the tight pants, the crop tops. It was very, very femme. And at the time, I was not comfortable, 100% comfortable with feminine guys. Again, I told you Rashawn came in the car with the girl clothes on and I dropped him back off at the train station. I went to the party without him because I wasn't comfortable. So a lot of the people in mine, we lived in the hood. So just imagine just walking down the hill to get to your building and people are opening up their windows calling you a FAG and a punk and a sissy and gay. And you don't know what window it's coming from, but it's like kids and stuff, just young. I'm just like, I never in my life had that happen to me. Like, I'm out here thinking that I'm not getting clocked. Like I'm not, like I'm unclockable. And I'm like, my roommate is getting me clocked. He's making these people call me gay and all of these homophobic slurs. And it's making me feel uncomfortable because I want to fight them and I don't know where it's coming from. In the townhouses we lived in, they were connected. Each townhouse was connected to the next. And the neighbors, one day I was coming home and the fucking neighbor, as I'm walking up to the building, he calls me a FAG. And it's like 3 of them outside. And as I put my key in the door, I looked at him and I said, at least if you go call me an FAG, at least you can know my name first. I said, my name is Tim. You could at least call me Tim. And they didn't say nothing. Then the next day, they was outside and I'm walking up and they was like, hey, what's up, Tim? I was like, hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? And that was it. Problem solved. I didn't have to worry about that no more. I had to let them know. And I'm gagging that they actually received it and I didn't get any pushback. Because I know and I felt that was coming from my roommates. And at the time, this was a different era of Atlanta. It wasn't as, it was still a lot of gay people in Atlanta, but it wasn't as it is now. But even at the same time, we still dealing with shit now with all the gay shit, the slurs and the shit that people are saying and thinking that we do, all this stuff on social media and this fucking Trump regime that we got to fucking deal with. So I was just like, yeah, I'm glad I stood up to myself and I said something to him. Now, there was a time I was on a bus and I was heading home from the job. And the guy in the back of the bus was calling me an FAG. And mind you, I was leaning like this, my head on the glass because I had went to the club the night before and I had worked and I was tired and I was like, I just want to get home. My phone was dying. I just want to get home. And he was just back there. He just kept whispering it. He just kept whispering it. And I just act like I didn't even look behind to see where it was coming from. Because like I have no energy to fight. And I feel like I can just ignore it. It'll go away. Because at first I'm like, who are you talking to? But I knew he was talking to me. So I stopped kind of taking the bus and I just started to walk. I would just walk. And a lot of times random guys would pick me up while I'm walking. And they would take me to work. It was this one guy, he had this little curl, this little slick back. It was giving like a Gerald Levert. And because he shopped in the store, so he would see me, he would take me. And like, he never really made a move on me. Because I was young, y'all. I wasn't even 21 at the time yet. I was still using my fake ID. Okay, the fake ID, child. So I told you I had the fake ID. So again, me and Myron and his friends and stuff like that, we was going to the club and stuff like that. I was starting to get into the Bulldogs and stuff like that sometimes because at the time, even when I met him, I was using the fake ID. But for this strange reason, the fake ID didn't work. The girl at the bouncer at the door, she looked like a lesbian because at Bulldogs, the bouncers and the security were big old butch lesbians. And this particular one, one of them, she looked like Manny Fresh. And she's always like, you ain't gonna cause no problems because bitch, I used to be getting to fights and shit in Bulldog, child. I did. We'll talk about that later on. And I went to get in and she wasn't at the door this time. This other one was there. And she said, we can't let you in with this. And she gave it back to me. And everybody was like, you have to wait in the car. So I had to go wait in Myron's minivan until they got out the club. And that made me feel some type of way too, because I'm like, damn, I'm in the club, mind you, I'm in the car for hours. And you know, the cell phones ain't like they are now. Like it was like the games was given like a Tetris. Bitch, I'm not about to sit in my car and play fucking Tetris for 3 hours, bitch. So I would see who I could text or whatever, but then even texting with that T9 shit, child. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. Y'all know what T9 is? When you gotta press, it's the numbers, and on the one that got the A, B, and C. If you want to get the C, you gotta press 1 3 times to get the C, or 2 times for the B, and then you gotta go to the next number with the 3. It was just too much. Over time, it just started becoming a little different. Like it was just something about him that I just couldn't put my finger on. And I just was like, So one day I get a phone call from him and he was just like, child, the repo man came and got my car. his van. I was like, the repo man came and took your van for real? He was like, yeah, child. He said, but bitch, I gave the repo man a below employment. And I was just like, for real? He was like, yeah. He said, yeah, I gave him a good old below employment. I was like, so you mean to tell me you gave him a below employment and he still took your car? Like, you gave him a below employment and he still repossessed your fucking car? That is crazy. So me being a good cancer and a good caring person I am at the time, I let him use my car. And I was like, you know, let me go ahead and go to the Lowe's up the block. I walked up there. It was about like a 30-minute walk. It wasn't far, but it was 30 minutes is still a long time to be walking in Atlanta in the humid, the heats, the moisture, the mosquitoes, the crickets, the flies, all the shit, the pollen. Like, bitch, I walked there. I walked all the way up the street. I walked over the fucking expressway and into the Camp Creek Marketplace Plaza where they had just built the new Lowe's home improvement. And I went there and I applied and I got the job. First job making $9 an hour. I thought I was the shit. And this was in like 2000. I want to say this was like a 2004, maybe 2005-ish. So I let him use my car. I even gave him my credit card to use my credit card if it was an emergency and he needed to get gas or something like that. He had him. Like, I was a good roommate because I knew he was struggling at the job because that's why his van got repoed, and I was trying to be helpful. But it didn't seem like it was reciprocated. One day, it was hot. It was really hot, and we didn't have air conditioners in our apartments. So I had the box fan on. It was at the foot of my bed. I'm painting the picture. It's at the foot of my bed. The lights is off. All I got on is my Calvin Klein boxer brief underwear on. And I'm laying on my stomach, just spread out. And I just fan, the box fan is just hitting me. It's just fucking blowing hot air on my back. I'm still lightly sweating, but I'm just laying there. Just, the covers is off the bed. It's just the fitted sheet. I probably took the regular fucking sheet off. It was just the fitted sheet and the pillows were spaced up and I'm just laid out on this full-size mattress. I don't know how I fit on the full size at the time. And all of a sudden I just felt something wet just creeping up my spinal cord. And I was like, stop, Myra, stop. I'm thinking it's him. Because I'm like, he freaky. And I knew he had like a little crush on me still. So I thought that was him. Bitch, I turned around. It was his date. His date was licking my back, up my spinal cord, up my little rivers. I used to call it like dinosaur. Like the spinal cord, I got little rivers in it. I used to call it like the T-Rex or the Triceratops, the little rivers that go along the spine. And I was like, what the fuck is you doing? He was like, yo, your roommate told me that how fine you was and da-da-da-da, and I was just trying to see what was up. And I'm just looking like, because I'm like, this gotta be a game. Like, they got to be fucking playing with me. Like, I'm looking at him, looking at the door, and I'm just like, I'm so thrown off because, again, I'm asleep. And I can't see. I wear contacts. I got my glasses on, but my glasses on the side, so I can't see clear. So I'm just, how when you just wake up, you just kind of be like kind of delirious, like it'll take you a second to get your shit together. That's how I was, child, when I used to take a Zoloft, child. Bitch, I remember I was popping them taking that Zoloft. Bitch, I had to stop one day. Bitch, I had to go move my car for alternate street parking out here in California, in Koreatown. And bitch, I had jumped up because you got to move it by 10 o'clock, child. This probably was like $9.57. So bitch, they be ticketing, child. Them tickets be like $75, $93. Ask me how I know, because I got plenty of them. And I was going out to move my car, and bitch, I was walking across the street sideways. That Zoloft had me fucked up. So I don't know where that came from. But anyway, I was like really delirious. And I'm just like, why would you come into here? Like, yeah, your roommate told me you was fine. And I said, what's up? Da-da-da. And I'm just like, well, I know he be getting dudes with big dicks. So he came to the side. I'm laying this way. He come right here to the side. And I just pull his boxers down. And that thing is big. It's solid as a rock. It's like this. It's like booyah. And it's dripping. And you know when it's dripping? Baby fluid fertilizer. And I was like, ah! I said, get the fuck out. I did. Y'all thought I was real nasty. Ooh, y'all judging, and y'all shouldn't judge me. Y'all should always think and know that I'm gonna pick the right path. Even though I still had to do a little sneak peek. I said, get the fuck out of my room. I said, if I feel like you came out or you come here again, I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass all the way down the staircase out of these apartments. He was like, man, he walked out. Within like 15, 20 minutes, my roommate was walking him out the apartment. So I don't know if the roommate woke up and he told the roommate what happened. I don't know what transpired in there. I didn't even ask because at that time I was starting to kind of, like I told you, I had let him use my car, my credit card, and I stopped letting him use that. And I'm just like, I don't like you. It's just like, how you like letting that happen? So I end up going to Home Depot, to Lowe's where I worked at, and I replaced the lock. And I replaced the regular, because a lot of the bedroom doors, they just had the simple knobs. They didn't have the locking mechanism on one side, or how they had the lock and they had a little hole. You put the little key thing in there. I went and bought a fucking front door lock with a key and put it on my bedroom door. Then I just started noticing like shit just started missing out of the apartment. Like, we used to have the Black Inches magazines, which was the corn on the cob magazines, in a basket in front of the toilet. Those magazines started disappearing. I was like, where all the magazines go? Where's all the dicks? I used to always get at him because he used to put his enema bottle on the counter. And I'm like, oh, put that in why you can't put that in your bedroom or under the sink? Like, I don't want to your enema thing is just sitting on a squeeze bottle, just sitting on. I'm brushing my teeth and I'm looking down at the bottle and it's like you can already tell it's been used because it's been squeezed and it's just sitting there or it's sitting there full of fluid. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, get this shit out of here. So then, like, one day I went to the kitchen, the pots and pans and shit was gone. So what he ended up, he was moving out on me. He was moving out on me. And he had a friend that came to stay with us. And the friend was on the couch. And one day I went in the kitchen. He was like, you don't know what's going on, do you? I was like, yeah, I know something is going on. I think he's moving out on me or whatever. Is he moving? He was like, well, I can't get into it, but there is something you can do about it. But he never told me what I could do about it. Next day I came home and my roommate, he was in there cooking pork chops on my pots and pans. And I was just like, how you go? I said, if there's something going on, you need to tell me. Like, what's going on? Like, and he would not tell me. I said, well, you need to put my fucking pots and pans up. But I was still very leery how I spoke to him. I was speaking to him as from a hurt place and not as an angry place because he did have some family members there from Miami. And I was like, bitch, I can't be all these bitches' ass. So I'm just like, what is going on? Like, tell me what's going on. Like, what did you like, are you moving out? Like, what's going on? But he wouldn't tell me. The next day, he ended up moving out on me. And it's crazy because that friend, every once in a while, the friend that was on the couch and said there was something, every once in a while, I would see him out and about, like when I lived in New York. And he would always come to me and say he was Myron's friend. And I would just look at him like, bitch, you have the audacity to come up and speak to me smiling. And I honestly, I don't even know what he looked like. So every time I would see him, because I only see him like once or twice, every time I would see him, he would come up to me. I want him to come up to me now and I can see him and I can cuss him the fuck out. Because I'm like, how dare you think that you can speak to me and want to be cool and kiki with me when that man fucking put me through all that shit? Like, he fucking got me an eviction on my credit. I had to move out of that apartment. My credit got fucked up. I ain't even gonna bother to tell y'all, in the meantime of all this happening, my car got fucked up. My car stopped working. So I'm catching the bus to work. Like, I have to walk to the front of the apartment complex and catch the bus to work. Y'all know Atlanta is hot as fuck. Like, soon as I would take a shower and I would walk up to the front of the fucking complex, bitch, I would be fucking sweating. It was like I never even took a fucking shower. And the bus would be running late sometimes. So sometimes I would walk to work. I would walk to the Lowe's. And the good thing, the Lowe's, I was there part-time. And then the manager, he thought, he saw me cleaning. He was like, who is this guy? Like, he cleaning, wiping down the counters, because I'm a good worker, bitch. When I come to work, I'm going to work. Even though I want to go home, well, that's me now. But back then, like, I work to work. But now I work, but I'm going home. If you ask me how I'm doing, I'm ready to go. And my coworkers, they be like, what you like? Why you? I was like, I'm having a good day. Everything is good. But just because I came to work, that don't mean I want to be here, bitch. I want to go home. I don't want to be here. I'm here to pay bills. That's it. I'm not here to socialize with y'all. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to get my money to pay my bills and go home. So therefore, as soon as I clock in, I'm ready to go. You got it? So they gave me full-time position. So I was, making pretty decent money, but at the same time, the rent in the apartment was only like $600-700, y'all. This is how long ago it was. But I was in a conundrum because it's just like, okay, do you pay this $600? Mind you, I was charging up my credit cards, and this was back when you paid your bills with a check. Like your bills, like your phone bill or whatever, like you wrote a check, you mailed it in, as long as it was post dated 2 or 3 a day, whatever before it was, or the day that it was due, you was good. And then that's when I just started just saying fuck it. Like my car is fucked up. Like I'm having to catch the bus to work, and then I'm still trying to go out and hang out and go to the club and shit like that. And I'm on MARTA now. No fucking car. But I got a job and I'm working 40 hours a week and I got health insurance. So again, he moved out. I told my auntie, she was out of town. She was like, when I come back, I'm gonna help you, get your stuff, whatever. But at the time, I didn't know how long the eviction process was going to take. I didn't know how long it was going to take for me to for them to come and get my shit. And I was always told, like, the notice stuck to the fucking door so everybody knows, but you don't know when the marshal is coming to clean your shit out. So every day I would get off that fucking bus and I would walk down that little slope to our building. I would say if I hit this corner and I bust this right and I see my shit, my big old school wooden dresser and shit sitting out on the fucking curb, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And my car is sitting there in front of the building on the brick. One of the tires is gone, and it's the brick is underneath the rotor and the brake and holding it up. No, it wasn't a brick. It was a piece of wood. It was like a railroad stake big piece of wood. Mm. And it's funny because my grandfather had wrote me a letter when me and him was staying together. And the letter pretty much summed it up and said, don't take any wooden nickels. Now, I didn't really know what that meant. I really didn't know what that meant. And to this day, my explanation is of don't take any wooden nickels is don't take no fake shit from nobody. Don't take no fake nothing. That's not money. A wooden nickel is not a fucking nickel. It's not money. Don't take no fake shit. Don't let nobody use you. That's what I did. And I really wish every so often, like I try to find a letter. I wish I had that letter so I could read it again, but I don't have it. I don't know. It got lost somewhere in the sauce somewhere. So, child, I'm getting stressed. My bills and stuff like that is getting fucked behind because once I realize I got to pay the bill one time, I'm not going to pay it the second time or the third time or the fourth time. I'm just not going to pay the bill. Because it's like, okay, I'm going to move back with my auntie. And my plan was to either move back in with my auntie and get a car or continue to keep that apartment and be on the bus line. Bitch, I couldn't do the bus line no more. I had even downgraded my phone. I was doing Sprint. I had fucking Cricket, and it's paying like $50 a month. I had a little Cricket phone because I don't know what was going on with my money and the car I had already invested. It was gone. And mind you, I believe we had already paid, or I had already put some money towards the rent or whatever. I can't remember, but it was just either I could pay it all or not. And I was like, well, shit, I'm gonna move back with my auntie and get a car. So we just go roll with it like that. So my auntie finally came and I moved back in with her. That was the second time I had moved back with my auntie. So of course it's time for me to go to court. I'm thinking everything gonna be good when we get to court. Like it's gonna be good. I ain't gotta worry about shit. I'm about to go into court and I'm about to tell them my story. And we gonna be good. I get in there. Myron is nowhere to be found. He did not show up to court. And the judge said, boom, you gotta pay. And I was like, why do I have to pay? I was like, what if they know you gotta pay? And you can't talk back or nothing. So I'm just like, how did I get stuck? So I'm like, now that I think about it, I don't even remember I don't even remember getting a copy of the lease. It was just so much that I was so confused because I'm just like, how can if both of our names are on this lease, how can this judge hold me 100% accountable for this? And I'm telling her what happened. Now, I'm not going to go and say, oh, I think because she didn't like me because I was gay. That's neither here nor there. I don't know if she could tell or if she knew. I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened. Again, I think that maybe he used fraudulent information and then the people in the leasing office was on his side. I don't know what it was, but it went on me and it went on my credit. And that was how I started to be like, well, bitch, if I ain't got a bitch, I can still live. I'm still alive. I didn't pay a bill. Ooh, I didn't pay my credit card bill this month. And nothing happened. In my head, I'm thinking. So I'm just keep on living life, spending money on drinks and clothes or whatever, and not taking care of the bill. And it's getting further and further and further and further and further behind to the point where I got to the point where I had to file bankruptcy. A couple years later, I ended up filing bankruptcy. But that was a very, very important lesson that I learned. One is, why would you roommate with a stranger? You didn't know this guy. Even though I wanted to move out that bad, y'all, that I went and did some fucking stupid ass shit like meeting some random guy that I knew nothing about and moved in with him. Again, you guys, that's just how gullible I was. And I thought everybody was a good person. And I said this on the last episode, I really wish I had a mentor. I really wish I had somebody that I could have talked to and confided in that would have helped me. And maybe some of the things, even though I am who and what I am today because of the shit I've went through, is some of the shit I wish I wouldn't have went through. I wish I would have had somebody there to spare me, and maybe it would have allowed me to take up more space in the fields of figuring out who I was and what I wanted to do and who I wanted to become with my life. And like I said, I ended up moving back with my auntie and my 1996 Dodge Intrepid. Just went to the junkyard and I ended up getting a 1998 Chevy Malibu, child. And we used to call it the Boo Honey. And I used to ride that bitch around the motherfucking town, bitch. I used to tear the streets up with that damn Chevy Malibu. But wait, the story's not done yet. I still never found out why Myron moved out on me. And I can't remember if I asked Rashawn or Rashawn didn't tell me. But Rashawn ended up, his apartment that he was in, Myron, one day when me and Rashawn was hanging out, for a while I stopped hanging out with Rashawn. And then we kind of got back reacquainted. One day, I went to Rashawn's house and Myron and he had a boyfriend, was over there. And they would go to Rashawn's house, take a shower, heat their food up in a microwave, and they would go sleep in the car because they was homeless. And I was like, yep, that's what you get, bitch, for what you did to me. For all the shit that you put me through after all the shit that I did for you and how I tried to help you. And that's how you played me. I was just telling a friend this other day, like, sometimes you gotta be a bitch. Sometimes you gotta be a bitch. You can't, it's really sad that in this world that we live in, you can't be 100% nice all the time. You gotta have a little pinch of a bitch in you. I don't know if y'all remember the movie Dolores Claiborne. When that lady told Kathleen Bates that was Dolores, she said, Dolores, sometimes being a bitch is all a woman has to hold on to. Yes! Yes, Dolores! Yes! Oh my goodness. Oh my fucking goodness. Crazy. That was the fucking quote, bitch. But you gotta be a bitch sometime. And then I moved to New York, and I was in the post office, and I heard somebody calling my name. It was crazy. It was Myron. I can't remember if the braces and the brackets were still on his teeth or not, but bitch, he looked like the motherfucking Tales from the Crypt Keeper. He looked it bad. And I was like, well, how was I supposed to say something to you, bitch? I didn't even know that was you standing right there. That's crazy. I ran into him. And then we exchanged numbers. And I only exchanged numbers because I felt bad. Like, I didn't know how to just be like, no at the time. Because it was still kind of shocking. Because I'm just like, you just have the audacity to even want to be cool with me, like, after what you did to me. And I never got an apology for it. Never got an apology for it. Never. But now, just as all this time has gone by, you want to exchange numbers and be cool because we both living in New York in the fucking Bronx. And I saw him yet again at the grocery store, my mom and my dad, because we on good terms at this point. Well, I'm gonna tell another part of the story, child, but y'all have to wait till I get to the New York chapter. I don't think I'm gonna talk about the New York chapter. I'm gonna save all that, the New York and the LA chapter, for my book. So the Atlanta Chronicles is going to be the last of my chronicles, but it's a 4-part set, bitch. Just know, okay? Because baby, ooh, bitch, I'm going to be rich and famous when I do this book. The book tours, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I'm just saying because I'm saying it's gonna be crazy. But we saw him in a grocery store, and I showed my mom him who he was, and I was still kind of embarrassed because I was like, that was my roommate that moved out on me. That fucking vile fucking serpent creature was my fucking roommate that moved out on me. That was crazy. But then life goes on. Again, I'm back with my auntie. And then we'll enter into the next chapter. And with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to yet another episode of the Coming Out Chronicles Atlanta. I will catch you on the next episode. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And the code is just gonna be, child, just put bitch, just put what your credit I was like, just put what your credit score is. Just, bitch, put what my credit score was, honey. Put 300, okay? 300 is credit score. Just put 300, or you can type credit score after that. But that's what my credit score was given after all that and that bankruptcy hit my shit. Because this made me go, oh, I'm going down. I'll catch y'all on the next episode. Let me finish eating my my cupcake. Peace out. Because it ain't got all extra moist and soft. This tastes so good. Yeah.